Jack Fletcher, Tough Sports TV, and I'm delighted to be welcomed on by the main man that is Mr. Lenny Fuller. Lenny, we've finally done it. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very good, Jack. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all, thanks. Interesting couple of weeks for you, Lenny. Some fantastic news your end. Signed by MTK Global. Big move for you. This great start to the new year.
Yeah, it has. It was like I say, got offered the contract. We jumped at the chance. It's what I needed just to push my career further, John.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the first time we met was a couple of years ago when you was with Joe Aldif on a workshop show, and I interviewed you for the very first time, and you said to me that you were going to do the business, you were going to work your way up, and you were going to really make a name for yourself. And then 12 months down the line, you made the final of the Ultimate Boxer, and you've had a fantastic career to date. I know that you get trained by Lee Page. How influential has Lee been on your sort of rise to glory so far?
As far as trainers go, Lee is second to none. He knows his stuff. He originally started as an MMA trainer, and he's trained some of the best MMA boys in the country. And he sort of moved away from that, for me, really, to box, which I'm so grateful for. Yeah, like Lee knows his stuff. There's not a lot Lee don't know. Pushes me in training. He knows a lot of things we work. That first knockout I had in the Ultimate Boxer was because Saint he showed me to work on. We worked on it for about 3 months and we got it off. And like I say, come on, trouble. So Lee's definitely pushing me. Is
Lee also from a travelling background as well? How did you guys come to meet each other?
No, we're both from Mason. He's what I'd like to call a gorger. We know same people, and it's got together like that. Really, he started training Joe Draper, which is if not one of my best pals. So I just come along, started doing a bit of MMA training with Joe, and then we just got kicked off from there. Really.
Okay. So, what's your goal this year then? Obviously, it's a great start to the year for you. I'm sure that you've got targets and things that you're sort of setting your sights on for 2021. What are they, Lenny?
Yeah. In terms of targets, I want to be pushing for at least an English by the end of this year. Depending on how things go with the COVID and the shows, because I understand the British Boxing Board got to look after everyone and put less strain on the NHS because, like I say, I had COVID before Christmas. It's not no joke, and I'm a young, fitter than the average person anyway, and it really hit me hard. So yeah, as long as there's no stress on the NHS, I'm hoping to push on for like an English or British title by the end of the year.
Okay, and in terms of sort of weight classes, then, Lenny, I mean, what weight are you going to be fighting at this year?
Like you know, Jack, I started off at super welter, and it was just too big for me. The boys are just too big. We moved down to welter. We went around the gym, sparred a few welters, and again, even the welters are noticeably bigger than me. So we're going to move down to super lightweight. I've not made that weight before, but we're very confident that I can make that weight with ease, and I believe I'm going to be a real force at super lightweight.
When you see the super lightweights in action, so you O'Hara Davis, Jack Catterall, Robbie Davis Jr., Lewis Ritson, when you're watching these guys on either the YouTube or the television and you're watching them fight each other, do you kind of look at them and think, there's plenty of chinks in the armor, there's plenty of things that I can exploit, and you can give these guys a good competitive fight, if not defeat these names that I've just mentioned? Yeah,
like I see a lot of them because I watch a lot of boxing. Any boxer should be watching a lot of boxing, especially in their weight categories. And especially when I've gone down to super low, I've seen loads of things I can exploit. Like there's a few names I'm not going to say anything, but they will be mentioned soon. There's a few names I know that I'd like to tackle this year. Definitely.
I mean, I think it's fair to say as well, Lenny. I mean, I've watched you in action many times, and even when you was fighting at the welter, You know, power in both hands, a lot of speed as well. You know, great footwork and a purist boxer, a force to be reckoned with. Then,
yeah, definitely. Like, I definitely think we're gonna make a definite dent in the division this year, especially like with these super lightweights. I'm gonna be so strong for it.
you must be very excited to be potentially at some point. You could see yourself fighting maybe on a matchroom card at some point in Eddie Earn's back garden this summer.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm hoping that they're going to be fighting on my undercards. Anyone from Matchroom when I'm defending an English or British title. I want to be the man to beat. You know.
What's the blueprint then? Have you and Lee and MTK Global got a plan? I mean, what are you going for first? Are you going to go for an English title first, or is it a couple of tick-over fights and then maybe go for a title sort of middle to latter part of the year?
Jack, truthfully, I don't think there's no room for tick-over fights, especially the way things are. You've got to take fights as they're given. Like, if it wasn't for the COVID and being knocked back, because it knocked me back a little bit, like in terms of fitness and getting back to where I was, because I was doing 2 training sessions and having to have 1 session off because of how the COVID got me on my lung wise. If it wasn't for that, I'd have been fighting preferably either this month or next month. I think I'd have probably been out by February if it wasn't for the COVID. So I don't think there's no room for takeover fights at the moment, like because there's not everyone's in the gym, so you got to take the fights as they come. So if a southern area, when I'm to scratch, if a southern area comes or an English, I'll be taking it. So whatever comes first, really.
And has there been any communication with any sort of key promoters? I know that MTK Global have their own shows. There's a lot of Frank Warren shows happening at the minute, and you know, Eddie Earn's got, you know, probably 4 or 5 shows lined up in the next couple of months. Is there any movement on whether you could maybe get onto one of these platforms at some point in the near future?
You're going to have to talk to, I think, MTK about that. No, I'm just going to keep myself fit. Hopefully by the end of this month, beginning of next month, I should be ready to go. So I just keep myself fit and wait for the call. As soon as the call comes, I'll be ready, because I know there's going to be a call at some point.
And if we can sort of fast forward to sort of this time next year, so let's get into a time machine. We travel 12 months down the line. You know, we're in, you know, January 2022. What would you want to have achieved by that point in your career, Lenny? Would you say realistically?
Right. So we're January 2022. I've boxed for English, British, depending on how it goes. I want to be. I'd like to see myself. At least I know my name's going to be in the mix. I'm going to be one of the best super lightweights in this country by then. I think be named as one of them at least.
I think it's fair to say as well, the fact that you've been knocking out welters and then you're dropping down, that's definitely going to be sort of working in your favour, because you've got that natural raw power.
Yeah. And I always feel the lighter I become, the harder I hit. Like when I boxed at super welter, but because I never had to make weight for that, I never had to do no cuts, I never had to do nothing. I just sat around that weight. I punch hard, and when I come down to welter, I was punching even harder. So it felt like I was punching hard. So even when I come down to super lightweight, I think really I'm going to bully boys in that ring.
For people that don't know Lenny, myself included, from a personal viewpoint, what kind of inspired you to sort of want to get into boxing? I know that you're from a travelling background, so just talk to me a little bit about the memories you've got from, you know, from being a child and getting inspired to get into boxing, Lenny.
Jack, I just love to fight. I just love to fight, and if you're going to get paid to fight, I'll fight. It's like a dream job. I've got three brothers, all similar ages, so all we did is fight. Yeah, I just like to fight.
Just a fighting man.
Just a fighting man. I like to fight.
So I think the last time we interviewed you in public was a show in Nottingham, and you was with your old mate Jimmy Peckham.
El Chapo.
El Chapo, yeah, and there was Danny Shannon there, and he was fighting Kyle Hughes, and he pulled off a point victory.
He won that night. It was a good fight. That was.
It was a great night. I mean, are you still kind of training with these boys? Are you all interacting?
Yeah, we're still in. Like Jimmy's like one of my good friends. I speak to him most days. We're still trained together. Well, a little bit different at the minute because of the COVID, so we're all in different times in the gym. Just to keep safe, do you know what I mean? So I don't see him as much, but I know they're all still training, ready to go. Because they're all Joe's boys, aren't they? And I still keep a good relationship with Joe. I love Joe Feedy. For the last 3 years, he's done nothing but good for my career, and we left on a good term. So yeah, me and Joe's still close, and all the boys. He's got some real good boys under him at the minute.
In terms of your career now, Lenny, I mean, you've got signed by MTK Global. There's probably things that you can't announce or talk about as yet, but is there anything? Can you give us any sort of hints or sneak peeks of what might be in the pipeline for you? Is there anything in the pipeline?
Yeah, I definitely think you'll see me holding the belt up within the next 2 to 3 months.
That soon?
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know which one, but there's going to be one within the next 2 to 3 months.
You must be absolutely over the moon to be in this position. I know that last time I interviewed you on lockdown, I think you were struggling with a little bit of motivation at that point, but you've had some good fortune. You got over your COVID. You're back in the training camp again, and you seem very focused and ready for this year and to take the bull by the horns, mate. Yeah,
like I say, like MTK Global signing me. I'm there with the same managers as like Tyson Fury, Billy Joe Saunders. So it feels almost like I'm there. I'm already made it. I just got to show everyone now. Like yeah, I think it was a bad time for everyone. And all, wasn't it? In the first lockdown, it was all new. Everyone, a lot of depression and mental health going around like bad. But now the only way I can see is up. So yeah, we're raring to go.
Good stuff. Lenny, any sort of final words? Do you want to thank any sponsors? Do you want to give anybody any shout outs at all, pal?
Yeah, can I just give a little shout out to Kent Gloves, David Shepard? They're keeping me. The gym's unreal. I'm with plenty of amateur champions and now pros. Dry Self, just newly sponsored, come on board. The best butchers in Kent, Roebuck's Artisan Butchers. Go down there if you need your meat. It's the best steak that you'll find. GL Brickwork, thank you very much for your sponsorship. Tool Room, and everyone else. Richie's Rolls, the best sausage spaghetti you ever get. Richie's Rolls. Find yourself down there. Now, like I say, everything, and just Tool Room, thanks for the and Chris Lemontang. He says I never mentioned him in interviews, but he is one of the best stretcher brothers I've ever met.
A stretcher what? A stretcher what?
A stretcherer. A stretcherer. What's the word?
What do they do then?
He stretches like your legs and that. What's the physio man? A stretcherer.
Do you mean a physiotherapist?
That's sort of. But he paints his toenails, so.
And also, you got the opportunity now. Did you want to call anybody out at all, Lenny?
I just want to give a little warning to all the super lightweights, especially domestic level. I'm coming for you.
Your Hara Davis, your Robbie Davis Juniors, your Jack Catteralls, your Lewis Ritsons. Watch out, Lenny Fuller is coming to take over 2021.
2021's my year.
Good stuff, Lenny. Always a pleasure talking to you, mate, and I'm very pleased for you. And thanks for coming on to Tough Sports TV today.
Thanks, Jack. Have a good one, mate.
Thanks, Lenny. Cheers.